CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Yes, it's breezy and brisk. 34 degrees here in Pittsburgh as we get set to get started. Let's go down to Tracy.
Well, Jim, you guys mentioned it, the importance of T.J. Watt. Well, he's been dealing with a groin injury, limited in practice this week. I spoke with Mike Tomlin before the game, and he said he doesn't know how much they're going to be able to get out of him, but they need him on the field. And just look at the numbers. They are 6-2 when he plays more than 50% of a game, just 0-4-1 when he plays less than 50%. And amazing to think how much he's been limited all season long, but still leads the league in sacks. Guys.
Yes, he is dangerous, but he will be sitting out here at the start because Pittsburgh will be receiving the kick. Tennessee won the toss and deferred. And it's over the head of McLeod, and here we go.
I'll be anxious to see T.J. Watt, the defensive genius. Here's the offensive genius all the years, Jim.
Yeah, well, he just needs 27 yards to move into 5th all-time for passing yardage, to move past Phillip Rivers. But the big question is, this offense has not produced a first-half touchdown in any of the last 3 games. They've been outscored 61-6 in the first half of the last 3 games. It's just been incredible slumber at the start for this team.
Blue 80.
And he's going to play action fake and throw on the run. And he connects with Deontay Johnson for a quick gain of 16.
Well, they just heard you, Jim, and they said, hey, wait a second, we're going to change
We'll
that.
show you.
I'm going to go right down the field. Johnson, one of the more unguardable wide receivers in the NFL, and I think he should be in the Pro Bowl, Jim. I'm saying it right now. He should be a lock, and I hope he is, because he's so talented and gifted. He's kind of under the radar across the country.
He is. He shows it every week, and with that catch, he just went over 1,000 yards on the season. 41. With his 82nd catch. Those are definitely Pro Bowl numbers, and I expect he will be a meritorious recognition as the handoff goes to Harris. Looked like he might have been struggling holding onto the football, and he is backed up after a gain of just 2. Of course, one of the big questions all season long for Pittsburgh has been an offensive line. So inexperienced, 2 rookies on the line, and can they give Ben the time that he needs to operate?
Well, they haven't been able to most of the year, right? But the offense is kind of built a certain way. Get the ball out quick and then throw these go routes over and over again, and they got the people to do it. The biggest thing is the intermediate game, the 15 yards over the middle, the stuff where you have to take a hitch in the pocket and wait it out. And they haven't really done that a bunch, and a lot of that is because the offensive line. But I think we're seeing signs of life. 2nd and 8.
That was just kind of thrown in the area of Harris.
That was a quick throw.
Are they going to call that an incompletion? Yeah, they're going to call it incompletion so they don't lose all that yardage. Here, you take it. Hot potato.
It is an incompletion because it's like a shovel pass.
Yeah.
And it's forward, not backwards. So once he dropped it, it actually helps the Steelers.
It does. It's 3rd and 8 for them. But Dupree, by the way, is back off of IR on the field for that Tennessee defense. The former Steeler who came out for the coin toss and called it right. And Ben was out there too, gave him a big hug, his old teammate. There he is standing up now over the left tackle on 3rd and 8 as Roethlisberger goes down the field. Oh my goodness, did he hold on? Claypool incomplete.
Well, they kind of get Ben with a double team, but he throws a perfect back shoulder, so you have a safety on top. And almost an incredible catch right there.
It definitely hit the ground. You'll see it from here. Yeah. So
great job by Maben right there, wasn't it? Just to be able to rip that out. It's like he really had it. That's great technique.
Strong hands took it away. And here's the kick. It's a short one by Harvin. Bounces at the 32 and goes sideways out of bounds. So Tennessee deferring at the top wisely. Just a 26-yard punt. And Ryan Tannehill will find a helmet and get on the field when we come back. All right, the 9-4 Titans under the directorship on offense of Ryan Tannehill. Tannehill 40 yards away from 30,000 passing yards on his career. We were talking about how Roethlisberger's moving up to number 5 today. Tannehill's moving past 30K. Here they are, first snap from the 30. Hilliard is the running back. They fake it to him, and they're on him right away. It's Chris Wormley. And a loss of 8.
Watch the top right up there, Jim. You have a touchdown to Julio on the first play, but of course, he doesn't get time, and that's what's happening. Look at that. There's nobody there. That is a touchdown, Julio.
Ooh.
Bang. Welcome back. Your second game after the hamstring. But Wormley with a huge sack right there. When you go back and look at game-changing plays, that was it right there.
Could have been 6. Instead, a loss of 8. Wormley's 6th sack of the year. 2nd and 18. And they're able to trip up Hilliard pretty quickly. Just a gain of 3. Roger Saffold is out on the offensive line. Out with a shoulder injury. Aaron Brewer starting, so we'll keep an eye on that line. They got beat up on that first snap. Luwan, Jones, Davis, Quesenberry. That's the front 5.
And you said it, Brewer, who's in right there, got beat one-on-one on Wormley. It's a touchdown if you had. That's why sometimes you're like, wow, how come someone's not playing as well? Well, Tannehill's playing great if you had that extra second there. These injuries always affect your football team, and both these teams have had it there.
That's all it is. 1 second could have made all the difference. 3rd and 15. Set up a screen to McNichols. And look at all the helmets on him, including Minka Fitzpatrick. And it's short work for Tannehill and the Titans. A Titan lineup today that does not have a single player with 400 yards from scrimmage this year. That's how much they've had to divide the labor in terms of all the injuries. And of course, that means Derrick Henry's absence, most prominent of all. Kern to punt. It's a low one. Fielded at the 18. McLeod shakes off the first hit. McLeod up past the 30 into the 35. So a nice run back by Ray McLeod before Pruitt ends it. 17-yard run back, 50-yard punt. Terrible towels are out early and often here in Pittsburgh. Oh, a lot of memories between these franchises. Of course, the Titans originated in Houston, and for years they were with the Steelers in the AFC Central. And had those 1978 and 79 AFC championship games up at Pittsburgh. Bum Phillips and crew come up here trying to get past them. They couldn't. Pastorini, Earl Campbell, the late Curly Culp. All right, second series for the Steelers from the 35. Batted down at the line of scrimmage. Let's talk about this Titan defense that is second best in the league against the run, only giving up 90 rushing yards a game. Got a rookie starting on that front. Naquan Jones with Tierre Tart out. They've only given up 100-yard rusher this season. That was James Robinson of Jacksonville, and the first of their matchups went for 149. Only 100-yard rusher.
You're going to hear a lot about these defensive guys, Jim. They got 3 outstanding players.
Roethlisberger able to escape this time and sling it downfield. Comes up just a little bit short of James Washington.
You see the pressure, like there's not a ton of blitzing. There's some simulated pressures, which are a great job as you see the receiver go up, runs a stop route, and then Ben scrambles. Get a little hands, but no call there. And see Landry pushing the pocket. There's Simmons, 98. These two players are having an outstanding year. Landry, huge motor, but Simmons has really come on. He's a dominant force now, Jim. He's one of the most underrated guys in the NFL. Not a lot of people know about him nationally yet, but you're going to see him throughout the playoffs really step up and make a couple of big plays, I believe.
It's 3rd and 10. There's Johnson trying to slice through that defense, but the Titans have that lateral quickness also, and they too will force the 3 and out.
I thought he had a chance to go forward just at that first one. He should have went right after he got by 24. Right there, go forward. You'd gotten close to the first down and giving you a chance to go for it. But you see the rally tackling, and this is why Tennessee really well coached. Mike Vrabel, Shane Bowen, defensive coordinator.
7 plays run by Pittsburgh. 6 of them have been passes. Harden first punt traveled only 27 yards. It's much better. Backs up Rodgers to the 10. Rodgers down the sideline. There's a flag out as Rodgers weaves through the Pittsburgh Steelers. What a run! But will it come back? I mean, he returned it 55 yards after a 51-yard punt.
This is going to be a huge call because it looked like there was a trip. But was it accidental? Do they pick it up? I mean, I saw it live going down there, but was it on 45? Block in the back, they might call?
During the kick, block in the back, kicking team number 42. 10-yard penalty added on to the end of the run. It's first down, Tennessee.
Well, 42 is Joe Jones, who's inactive today, so that was really just a miss ID. I'm sure it was Blasingame, as you said.
But right there, you see they're calling it on the Pittsburgh team, which is super weird. The block in the back, isn't that crazy?
How about that?
The block in the back is on the kicking team. Usually it's the block in the back by the team.
James Pierre.
Yeah, so that helps Tennessee.
Wow, does it ever?
It's big, and that right there is why Tennessee. People ask me, how are they 3-2 without Derrick Henry? And the first thing that comes to, when you look at everything and you watch all the games, you're like, well, number one, they do all the little things well, right? The special teams, they play clean football. They don't have penalties in the defensive end. They win the penalty game. And at the end of it, you know what they really do? They win the turnover battle. And when they lose the turnover battle, that's where they lost the 2 games.
So, big turn of events here as Foreman gets the handle and picks up 6. The big run back, the penalty against Pittsburgh. And let's set this Steeler defense of Keith Butler. I mentioned earlier they're 30th against the run. You just saw 6 go to Foreman. How will they rebound after Dalvin Cook shredded them for 205 a week ago?
It's just very strange because you have a dominant presence in Hayward, Watt. But here's what happened. I give Butler and Tomlin a little bit of a pass this year because they've been so down for so long. But you also started the year with Alu.
Right.
He's out. Tuitt, he's out. Well, that's 2 guys inside.
There's the pass for the first down, and it is a catch. Enough for the first. That's Hilliard with the catch. By the way, the previous play, Foreman did limp to the sideline after the 6-yard carry. Tony, let's get your report here with Tennessee on offense.
Well, Tennessee's offense is run early, run off, and you're going against the 30th ranked run defense. And teams who have success against Pittsburgh, they're able just to run in on them, and it just shortens the game. And then all of a sudden, Steelers have to pass. And this defense, get back to Blitzburgh a little bit. And when I say that, I mean, let's pressure these run pressures because they are playing their single high coverages, but I want to see these linebackers start to rush early and often as well.
Hilliard gets the handoff up the middle for 2 more.
So what they used to do, Jim, and a lot of it is injuries, right? So it's like when you get new people in, Spillane being out hurt, he's kind of that tool belt. He can go everywhere. But I think they just need to create confusion. See, once you're 30th in the league, you need movement up front. You need to slide. You can't just win. They've always been able to win with just size, Alu Tuitt, Hayward, Watt. You know, they had Bud Dupree last year.
Here's a 2nd and 8 from the 12. Looking to the end zone, fires it in traffic, and that was Devin Bush who got a hand on it and nearly a theft. Pass intended for Swain.
Well, here we go. This is a great job. We talked about simulated pressures a second ago. It's only a 4-man rush, but you're going to feel this pressure by the quarterback. You have time, but he fires it in there, and that zone coverage, as Bush is reading, it's Tampa 2. That means he reads the quarterback's eyes, and he should have intercepted that.
Right in his hands. All right, Hayden. Down at the bottom of your screen, he's on Julio. It's a 3rd and 8.
They're coming after him.
Tannehill gets rid of it. McNichols. What a move by McNichols. He's going to be about a yard short. Oh, he cut back middle. He's injured. Picks up 11.
Took a big hit at the end, right at the very end of the play.
Looked like Millette had a play on him that could have possibly stopped him short of the first. And now even Mike Vrabel will march out here to see what happened to his running back.
Watch Hayward, 97. It'll be right here at the end. I think it's his knee when I was watching down there. Let's see, right? Boom. That knee just hit him.
Right in the neck area.
coach.
Timeout on the field here in Pittsburgh. McNichols, by the way, was able to hop on his feet and jog off to the sideline after being injured, picking up a big third down conversion down inside the 1. Tennessee, since Tannehill, you Titan fans know this, you hear it all the time, #1 red zone offense since he came to Nashville. He's got less than a yard to go, 1st and goal. McKay, and he's going to power across for the Titan touchdown.
And this is why I think they're so good there. That's his 7th rushing touchdown this year. And right there is what separates. Why are they so good, Jim, in goal to go, right? 1st and 10 inside the 10-yard line. They're 88% they score touchdowns. That's crazy. They had the highest ever, 94% in 2020. And guess what? They're also 3rd in 2019. So why it happens is Ryan Tannehill's ability to run. So he's got the Lamar Jackson aspect, not like, hey, I'm going to make you all miss, but he's an extra guy down there. And then they run the ball, and it's just a surprise. Ryan ends up running it in.
Bullock makes the extra point. All of this set up by the Chester Rogers 54-yard punt return. Back in 30 after this from Lowe's.
There's a new team in the NFL.
One that plays for home. Everyone's home.
Whether you're a rookie or a seasoned pro,
This team has your back. We can help you tackle any project.
We're the Lowe's home team, and anyone can be on it.
are you in?
Try out for the Lowe's home team today.
Tony, you mentioned the 7 rush touchdowns by Ryan. That's 2nd most among quarterbacks in the league for the season since he became the Tennessee starter. 18 rush touchdowns. Jalen Hurts has the most for 2021 rush quarterback touchdowns.
Well, that's the way. So picture Derrick Henry being there for these last 3 seasons when they're rolling 4 seasons. But they're sitting here going, okay, Ryan's in there. We're going to hand the ball off to Derrick Henry. Oh, guess what? We're going to have a red cross, Jim.
To help people affected by the southern and Midwest tornadoes, text tornadoes to 90999 to give $10 to the American Red Cross Southern and Midwest Tornadoes Relief. So again, the Steelers find themselves down early. We're just halfway through this first quarter.
That's not a shock, right? It's just amazing how it keeps playing out this way. I mean, just over and over again. You called it. No touchdowns in the first half, the last 3 games.
Here's the handoff to Harris. He's got nowhere to go. Yeah, then you look at a team that was down 29-0 to Minnesota, and all of a sudden they erupt and have this play at the end, which was a beautifully thrown ball from Ben to Freiermuth. Then the collision, though, that knocked the ball loose. They were that close to be able to maybe force the game into overtime. And that was being down 29 late.
And that was big. They have 1 game room for error at best. They went out there 10-6-1. I'm 100%.
Oh, yeah.
9-7-1 has a chance, but it's not something you want to have to do.
Roethlisberger is taken down.
Well, we talked about simulated pressures, and here it is. Watch, the slot receiver comes flying off, and the receivers are covered. Ben did not think there was a blitz coming, and so what happens, it's a handoff, Jim. He has the ability to throw it or hand it off. He takes it, he's about to hand it off, but he senses that guy blitzing right at that moment, and then he goes, I can't hand it off, he's going to get hit. So then he has to take a sack.
That's the 31st time he's been dropped this season. Now you find yourself in 3rd and 14. Set up a screen, and it's wide of the mark for Harris. Throw was rushed. And the crowd, I hear some rumbling inside Heinz Field here as they're disenchanted with yet another slow start by the Pittsburgh offense.
Yeah, it's just a frustration aspect because we have 3 third downs in this game, and they're all really short passes, hoping to get first downs. And it's part of your offensive line, just trying to protect them.
Chester Rogers really accounted for so much of that first touchdown with the long return. And Harvin for the second punt in this game. 2 of his 3 have been woeful. One traveled 27 yards. This one is going to be right around that same number. You can watch the premiere of CBS's new family medical drama Wednesday, January 5th, Good Sam, starring Sophia Bush and Jason Isaacs. Good Sam, Wednesday, January 5th on CBS. Foreman, by the way, we saw him shaken up earlier. He had his right foot taped, and we expect he will return. So on the sideline, looks like he's ready to be back in action when called upon. As Tannehill able to exploit the center of the field, and that's a catch. That's Westbrook Akina with the catch. Here's Ryan Tannehill's numbers with Derrick Henry, and without naturally any quarterback would see their numbers affected by that. And they're going up tempo here from the Pittsburgh 41. Whoop.
Well, I think that's
encroachment. Defense, number 97. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Of course, that foot fracture, the surgery for Derrick, you go back to, it happened on Halloween Day, October 31st, surgery a couple days later. Mike Vrabel really careful about what he wants to say as far as when he might be back. He doesn't know the answer. That's fair. It could be, though, there's speculation swirling. Could be 2 weeks, just in time before the playoffs. What a boost that would be for a team that could even, without him, still earn the #1 seed here in the last month of the season. Again, with a win today, they would move into the top spot. That's a handoff to Hilliard. What do you think?
I think you're dead right. I think Vrabel's done an outstanding job. I mean, he's already shown everyone how great of a football coach he is, and he proves it over and over again. That's what this league is about. But the other part is getting Henry back. Now you got A.J. Brown back.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Julio just got back last week, and he's looking good.
Here's Tannehill's pass near the sticks. That's a catch by Pruitt.
This is one of those, you look around the league, and we've been around a few places now, and it's like, whoa. This is a team that could be very different on offense going into the playoffs, whereas other teams are like, okay, this is who they are. They have a chance to really be like at their best, at their peak. And that's just rare going into the playoffs to be better than you were at any point during the regular season.
Todd Downing, the offensive coordinator, able to bring back Foreman for this 3rd and short. Flanking Tannehill from the 31. And they'll give it to Foreman. He's got the first down. He's down to the 24. Tracy, down to you.
Well, Jim, we saw Jeremy McNichols getting hurt on that touchdown drive. He has a shoulder injury, but they are hoping he can come back out here and play. They are calling him probable.
Okay. Meanwhile, Foreman with a nice run. They're excited about having Deontay Foreman. Coach Vrabel familiar with him, overlapping Foreman's rookie year down in Houston when he was on the staff there for Bill O'Brien.
I think that last play, a lot of it was Tannehill, right? Hayward had to go right at Tannehill, and that helps Foreman, but you're right, Foreman's a good player.
Oh, he drops the ball right on that cue.
Right on your cue.
Right when
really
you said
good player.
Really good player drop. How did you time that up like that?
Well, I waited to see if he was going to catch it, and then I had said, I got to make up for this for him. Simulated pressures, and right now, Blitzburgh's getting back to it. And you see that's a screen, which I don't know would have gone too far with Watt right in front of you, but I like what Pittsburgh's doing right now. I know that they've given up that touchdown, but I do think they're getting back to, you know, they should have intercepted on that touchdown drive.
Devin had it. Devin Bush had it. 2nd and 10. Toss it. Hilliard. Nice blocking on that side. Runs into the back of Luan, who helped clear that way. And it's near another first down. McMath also throwing a nice block on that left side.
Great play call. Toss outside, Luan getting on the edge, and see number 40 doing the rest for you.
3rd and short again, 3rd and less than a yard. With a call on Foreman again. They're back in the red zone for the 2nd time in this opening quarter. Yes, it's Tannehill, dangerous with the football, and he's got the first. Had the option, he kept it, he got the first.
Well, that's why the Titans, I was telling you earlier, are so good in goal-to-go situations, and really on 3rd and shorts, this should be the best team because they're very similar type deals. They can throw the ball, they can run the ball, they can also get in shotgun and run the ball to the running back, or Tannehill can keep it. So you always have to add an extra guy. Well, when you have A.J. Brown back and you have Julio Jones back, you've got to go add that extra guy on 3rd and 2 or in these goal-to-go situations. Now those guys are one-on-one outside. And you saw the first play of the game, that was a touchdown they missed with the sack. That's going to happen in the playoffs when everyone's healthy.
First down from the 13. Tannehill kind of shook off his right shoulder after the hit. And he's going to use that right arm to zip it incomplete. It was going to Hilliard. Got broken up by Bush. Yeah, he took a hit. The quarterback, Ryan, 2 plays ago, and got hit right there. That hit by Hayward on the right shoulder had him up stretching a bit, but certainly had a lot of velocity on that pass that just fell incomplete on the next play.
Yeah, usually you'd say he would make you throw it slower, but you don't throw rocket balls on angle routes 4 yards in front of you.
Foreman is the running back, the tailback. And they pitch it to him. A blasting game trying to lead the brigade, but the Pittsburgh defense on the occasion, including Loudermilk, holds them to 1.
This is what I want to see. When you want to stop the run, see how he's starting to come, Jim? He's going to be flying in here. What happens then is that makes these offensive linemen have to make quick decisions. They have to now communicate on who's getting who right at that moment, and that's what they've always done. And I think they're going to get back to that. That's what I wanted to see today. They're doing it.
Got a 3rd and 9 this time. Julio in the slot to the left. Tannehill completes it, but written down right away by Marcus Allen. The catch made by Hilliard. They hold him to 4, and they'll go for the 3.
Good job getting the ball out right there. But 27, this is where coaches spend so much time throughout the week. So when you're on defense, you're going to go up here and say, we want Allen, 27, to be right behind on 3rd down and guard the running back. Well, you're not going to put him there in the running game. But that's why all these packages come in on 3rd down, so you have a good matchup, and you covered him there.
26 yards. Kern the holder. And Randy Bullock right down the middle. Actually might have hit the upright of the Jumbotron. You're just seeing double vision. 10-0 Tennessee. Heinz Field, the Steelers down 10-0 here with a minute to go in the first quarter. The last 5 home games have actually gone 4-0-1, with the last 4 games in that sequence coming down to the wire, beating Seattle in overtime, Chicago by 2 points. What a game that was on a Monday night. They tied Detroit. That was a game Roethlisberger was out. And then we were here 2 weeks ago when they beat Baltimore by 1. Ravens went for 2 at the end, tried to go for the win, and was stopped.
Oh, what a game that was.
Here's McLeod coming up to the 8 to field it. Contact at the 20. And he's tackled down just short of the 30. McMath on the tackle. Considered the league's most prestigious honor, the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award goes to players who have exhibited not only excellence on the field, but great passion to impact lives beyond the game. This year's nominees for Tennessee is Derrick Henry. For Pittsburgh, it's Cameron Hayward. The NFL Man of the Year will be announced Super Bowl week at NFL Honors Thursday, February 10th. You can learn all about this year's nominees by visiting NFL.com/Man of the Year.
Those two have one thing in common when I see them. They're both like a man amongst boys, even in the NFL a little bit. They're both impose their will and size on their opponent.
Here's Johnson. And he's going to pick up 11. Got a nice block from Freiermuth. So that's the second biggest play of the game for the Steelers after their first play of the game that went on a completion to Johnson. Let's go to Tracy.
Well, Jim, you talked about it. Derrick Henry rehabbing right now in hopes of getting back later this season, and he was able to find some time though still to host his annual toy drive in his hometown of Yulee. Volunteers from his 2 All Foundation passed out toys to over 500 kids. Henry will be passing out toys again this week as well, all in hopes of helping kids receive an equal chance. Jim,
wonderful work by Derrick Henry. and by Cameron Hayward, what they've done in their communities. We know they're both premier football players, but citizens and community leaders as well. You saw a short run there for 3 yards to Najee Harris. To 2nd and 7. Tried to get this drive started with a little trick play, and it worked for a first down to Deontay.
Hurry, hurry! Sit on! Fear!
So he's trying to assess if he's coming. He's come a few times, so when he doesn't come, you can run that way. When he blitzes, you can't do it, so he's always trying to assess him, and then he calls the play.
Last play of the quarter goes to Johnson. Oh, he's near the first.
Ooh, he's got some ability.
Yes, he does. He's able to step past Buster Screen. The first quarter has ended. Another slow start for the Steelers. The Titans lead it 10-0 after 1. We're back at the first quarter numbers. You see the 37 total yards by the Steelers. Deontay Johnson has 36 of them. He came up short of the first on that last play of the quarter. So it's 3rd and, well, it's a full yard. 3rd and 1 for Pittsburgh to start the second. Jim Nance, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson on site here in Pittsburgh. Oh, and there's movement on that right side. Trey Turner. Ben making an appeal.
Well, what happens is it's really smart. Tennessee is going to shift their defensive line, Jim. So they're going to walk up and they're going to yell. So you basically say, it's illegal to try and simulate the cadence.
Offense, number 51, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So you can't say set hut or something. You can't say that on the D line, but you can say move. And then all of a sudden move. The D lineman says that, so they all move down, right? Well, that catches one of the offensive linemen and gets them to false start. And teams who are well coached, they do that at the exact right moment.
So now it changes everything. 3rd and 6.
Hey, heavy Titan.
Claypool on the near side. It's been targeted once. Out of the backfield they go to Harris. Boy, he tries to avoid by making 2 spin moves, but does not get the yardage they needed.
And you can tell right there the swarming and the speed of this defense. And they're playing a zone coverage. It's really a good job by Ben. Another ball that's thrown short of the sticks, but you probably had to there. But Ben wanted him to cut and get going forward up field. But you can see the speed, right? This defense, they're so good in so many areas.
40 yards total of offense so far in the game and 2 first downs. And the fair catch made by Rodgers after a 40-yard boot. Back in 30 after this from the Home Depot. We're back with the Titans taking over at their own 15. And that's Foreman for about 2. Here's the next gen stats powered by AWS.
Well, what happens? 63% of the snaps when Derrick Henry was on the field, they faced single deep safety. That means one guy back. That's the highest in the NFL. Well, what that allows is your receivers to be one-on-one. Since he's been out, they've faced single high deep safety 53% of the snaps, which is now 10th highest in the NFL.
Here's Todd Downing. Took over for Arthur Smith, who, of course, took the head coaching job at Atlanta. He's had to work with so many different lineups, so many different players. Patchwork, good work. And the handoff goes to Foreman just across the 20. They'll have 3rd and about 5 coming up. We were talking to Mike Vrabel just yesterday, and we got a pass play coming up. And one of his big concerns is you've harped on it already. We just have to protect him better. Talking about Tannehill, who's been the one steady, the one constant this season with all the changing pieces.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a few too many turnovers compared to the early part when they had Henry, but he really has when he's there. He helps them because you have to account for a guy in the run game. If he fakes a handoff, goes. Well, this is a little deep, so they're going to have to throw the ball in this one. That's what Pittsburgh wants.
By the way, McNichols back in after that early shoulder injury. What a pass. Oh, and a fumble. Ball on the ground, and is picked up by Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Well, this is I mean, so many things to talk about on this play. The first one's the incredible rush up front, and then the next one's going to be the great throw by Tannehill, and then the great strip.
It's Ferkser who made the catch and then coughed it up, and it was Schobert who blitzed and forced that quick throw. It looked like it was Marlette who forced the fumble.
And you see Marlette right there trying to get that ball out, and he does a great job with it. And I mean, Tannehill stood in and threw a great ball under extreme pressure. And Ferkser with a good route catch. But this is why the games, when Tennessee has lost in their last 5, if they win the turnover battle, they win. If they don't, they've lost. And in the games where New England, Houston...
Tannehill thinks maybe it wasn't a catch, but he seemed to make a couple, 3 steps.
That's the most catchy thing I've seen in some time.
Yeah, that is a football move and some.
And that Schobert with that pass rush makes the ball get out quickly. The thing is, Tennessee's up 10-0. You feel like it's no big deal, right? You can turn the ball over. But weirdly, like, think about if that's a first down, they're moving the chains. They're going to be at midfield, right near there. And then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, and they go down and score. It's 10-7. It should have just been at least 13, something closer, maybe 17.
Oh, here they come with a little trickery. Back to Claypool. Claypool down to the 23. His helmets are flying. That was Evans who lost his hat. But Claypool picks up 12 and a first down.
And Claypool, you could see Najee Harris, 22, does a great job with a block right there. But Claypool, you can see his size and speed. And you can also see how physical this sport is. Wow, that was a physical tackle.
False start. Offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty, first down.
And by the way, Ben Roethlisberger, we mentioned it at the top, how he could move past Phillip Rivers on the all-time career pass yardage list. He has done that with now 41 yards passing here in the game. And that puts him 5th all-time. He's done, of course, all of it with one franchise. Which he has a lot of records when you get down to it for a quarterback who's played his entire career for one team. That's a 3rd pre-snap penalty on the Steelers. 1st and 15. Ben took a hit. Ben is down back at the 38-yard line. He was walloped as Harris tried to fight to get back to the line of scrimmage. And this crowd saw it, and they are voicing how they feel about that right now.
Well, that was by Jones. Number 90 comes flying in. But remember, they run all these RPOs, so sometimes he pulls it out. And this one is really late. But that is a big person hitting you. That's really close. That could have been called right there.
Rookie from Michigan State comes off for the next play. 2nd and 15. As if you couldn't tell. Muth ringing through the stadiums. Concourse levels and all. Gain of 11 for the rookies. Now 46 catches on the season. And a good 2nd-round pick indeed out of Penn State. And 7 receiving touchdowns. That's up there near the top for the tight ends in the league. Top 5. Here's the pattern. The fly pattern to McLeod, and that was well covered. Buster Screener they just picked up here in the last month. And had a pick last week. Had airtight coverage on that one.
Another RPO. You could hand it off. Ben elects to throw the ball. And I thought he threw it just a hair early. You know, it's like you got to see the angle of the receiver.
Try to hit him on the fade. Doesn't develop. And it's going to be a 36-yard attempt for Chris Boswell. And the kick is good as Pittsburgh puts points on the board. Off the Ferkser fumble.
That turnover keeps them in it, Jim. 10-3.
Pittsburgh able to get points off the turnover. A field goal. 10-3, 10:35 to go, second quarter. Steelers sitting there at 6-6-1 on the season. The tie against the Detroit Lions. And next week coming up, Pittsburgh have its hands full heading to Arrowhead to take on Kansas City. Meanwhile, here's the kick. Angled. Rodgers. Ooh, both lower their head. You could hear that up here. And that was Lane who made the contact. By the way, all of us here, this crew, so excited to see the arrival this week. Roman Brewer. Tom Brewer is up here in the booth with us every single week. He and his wife Benish welcoming the little boy, 7 pounds 15 ounces on Thursday. Their first child, mom and baby, are doing well. Tom, we're not so sure about. He's still trying to get over the shock. I don't think he fainted, but it was close.
It was close. I can tell you, the baby will probably be stronger than him here in about
saying a lot.
3-4 years. So.
Congratulations.
Congrats to those two. I love them both.
Here's a deep pass. He's got him. Oh, it goes incomplete. Westbrook unable. Aquina unable to hold on to it. Would have been about 42 yards.
Jim, that's his first drop this year. So if you're going to have a guy who you know is going to catch it, it's him. And he just somehow doesn't come down. What a throw under pressure. Hayward is hitting Tannehill, and he throws a dime. Wow, this game has had like 2 or 3 plays that could really change the way this has gone.
That was some pass. Ball's incomplete. Here's Foreman lowering his head and spinning out for about 7. Actually going to mark him down a little earlier than that. Down by contact at the, well, close to the 28. 6 carries, 25 now for Foreman. Gain of 5 as it turns out.
All right, you got man-to-man coverage. He knows. Let's get some crossing routes. Get some people moving. Go up, crossing plays.
Julio is not in on this play. Seemed to be a little shaken up on the fumble play before. Slow to get up on that one. Here's Tannehill's pass. It's there for the first down.
And you see, once you know you're in man-to-man, you go up and call a play, and here comes crossing routes across the field.
And here comes Cody Hollister with the grab.
And Hollister's on your right side. He'll come all the way across, as you see everyone on the right side. But Hayward's having a day. This is going to be huge. At some point, I think Tannehill's going to end up making a mistake, not because of him, but because Hayward is lined up right there, and he's going to be going against your weak spot, the backup left guard. The more they can get him on that guy right there, the more likely the Steelers are going to create a negative play.
Go to the other side, and Foreman is unable to get past anybody, including Mondu. So no gain. Yeah, you look at these two defenses, Tony. You go at each level of their defense, the line, the backers, the backfield. They've got stars. You got Hayward, you got Watt, you got Minka Fitzpatrick, just like over at Tennessee, kind of unheralded. You got Simmons, you got Landry, and you got Byard. I mean, these are all 3 great anchors for each of these defenses to build around.
You're exactly right. The biggest thing is Pittsburgh also had those other 2 big guys at side. But I think right now, Tennessee flies around on defense. I mean, we've done a lot of games. This team is really explosive almost at tackling.
Here's a 2nd and 10. And that's good for a first down. Big gain to Foreman of 18 yards, and onto the Pittsburgh side of the field they go.
And that's where I see just that little difference right now is you saw 6, 7 guys come flying in for a tackle when someone catches it for Tennessee. And on these, just a few too many missed tackles. You know, those 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th guy on that defense who's starting, they're just better at Tennessee right now than Pittsburgh's guys. And it's a byproduct, and you got to say, great job. You got to coach that. And Pittsburgh's always had that. They just don't have it right now.
We got 45 yards, receiving yards out of the backfield of Tennessee as McNichols carries it for about 3. That's Highsmith on the tackle. Alex Highsmith wearing number 56, which was Coach Vrabel's number back in the day when he was drafted in the 3rd round out of Ohio State in 1997 by the Pittsburgh Steelers and by Coach Bill Cowher.
Vrabel loves talking about his old stats and his old plays, doesn't he?
All we want to know, did we win the game? He had an interception of Ben in his career. Played 4 years for Pittsburgh. A lot of fond memories. Pretty good, though, when you get coached by Cowher and then later you get coached by Belichick. No wonder he's such a good coach. Here's a 2nd and 7. Dumping it off McNichols, and again, these little throws to the running backs has really worked effectively for them. Here's a little photo of Vrabel. And then this actually is a game against Tennessee way back when. Also had a big sack in a playoff game with Drew Bledsoe when he was a Steeler. And then he went up to New England and caught a bunch of touchdowns. That's the one thing. You talk about all the things he did on defense. Brady loved to find him on offense, including in a Super Bowl. Here's McNichols racing down to about the 30, running behind Nate Davis, and that's a 9-yard pickup.
Really good run, great movement up front. And you can see just that 28. So you get one cut and get downhill. McNichols has that 3rd down kind of ability. You saw it early when he got all the way down to the half-inch yard line. They need to get the ball in his hands, though, Jim, because different than Henry, different style, but explosive a different way.
Julio back in the slot on the right side. 2nd and 1. Plants the feet and goes deep. Goes to the end zone, and he went back to Westbrook Akina. And that went a little bit in traffic. Double coverage back there, Witherspoon and Fitzpatrick.
If you're going to make that throw, you got to miss high and away because you have 2 defenders in the area. Tannehill does a good job, and I think Westbrook Akina did a good job pretending like he had a chance at it, which he never actually did.
At the 10th play of this drive coming up. So again, it's a 3rd and 1. They've had a number of them.
Well, they used to just go ahead and give this thing right here to Henry, but they still trust that.
It's Foreman trying to navigate. Oh, he found just the tiniest opening, and I believe he's got the 1st. That looked clogged up and like there was nowhere to go, but he picks up the 1st.
Well, watch this backside over here. That's where it always ends up getting back to, and you see the effort by 85 Pruitt just to kind of make sure he's able to keep the defender from getting too close. It's all that extra effort that's just, I'm seeing it over and over out of Tennessee right now. It's really impressive.
Well, since week 10, they've given up the most rushing yards, most 10-yard plus carries, most rush touchdowns. Tennessee's running backs have 109 scrimmage yards here in the 1st half. Going to add some right here on a little swing pass to Foreman. He's got another 8, close to 9. Haven't had a chance to call T.J. Watt's name too often today because they've been doing a lot of different things, including getting the ball into the hands of these backs in the passing game.
Yeah, they're getting the ball out quickly. A couple times they've had to stand in and throw, but I think they have a game plan for him, right? Tennessee's really good at game planning for your best player. The problem is Hayward's going to be lined up over and over again on this left side, and it's hard to have a game plan for 2 people.
2nd and 1, Foreman again, able to pick up the 1st down.
Flag on the play.
Marker out. We'll see what Bradley Rogers' crew comes up with here.
That's probably somebody blocking T.J. Watt, 87, I'm guessing. If Swaim was trying to block T.J. Watt, what do you think?
No hold? No hold? Okay. There's no foul on the play.
I'm going to say there's no foul.
3rd down.
Just that 6th sense that you have.
1st down.
So it'll be a 1st down. There's a no call after all.
Right there.
Swaim.
Watt's kind of holding him.
Hey, he's pulling him down.
I think it was
the front of the shoulder pads.
I don't think it was either way on that view. I think it was a good no call.
They've held the football now coming up on 7 minutes on this series. They bring in Kendall Lamb, 71, as an extra lineman. 2 tight ends. McNichols, the running back. Smith had an angle on him. Going to have a hold call against Tennessee. His swing was the target. Wouldn't have mattered.
Offense, number 77. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, Highsmith just takes on Luan and really just got right off the very first step. Luan's on an island by himself over here, and once Highsmith gets outside, Tannehill needs to step up in the pocket, and he was just drifting, and now you got to hold him. He's just going to kill your quarterback. Sometimes I'm like, just let him go. Just don't get the penalty because I might make a mess, right? But they're like, well, what happens if you don't see him? I got to hold him so you don't die. I'm like, yeah, maybe you can hold him on those cases then.
Trying to protect you.
By the way, that's his first holding penalty in the past 2 seasons. That doesn't happen very often.
Back at the 28. And look at the Steelers rise to that moment. And there's T.J. Watt shutting down Hilliard.
Watt setting the edge. And that's the thing. If you have a guy who can actually set the edge, which means turn it back inside. Do not let him keep it going out wide. Turn it back inside to everyone that's helping. But then he also turns it back inside and makes the play. Well, that's a special player, as we all know he is.
Titans have 5 first downs on this drive alone. Steelers have 3 for the game. Second and 20 to Rodgers. With a bubble screen, and we know he can run and weave. Warmly comes down to tackle him after a pickup of 13. This may take us down to the 2-minute warning. Remember, Tennessee deferred at the top. So they have a chance to do a little business here before the intermission and then get the football to start the third quarter.
It's got a little wiggle to him. Chester Rogers will go down to the 2-minute warning. I mean, that was nice. It was like that little slot receiver. It looked like that perfect little returner kind of guy.
His presence has been felt in this game with that big return to set up the first touchdown. 2 minutes to go in the first half. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Sports and NFL apps. Come out of the 2-minute warning. And look at the time of possession. In fact, they've had the football on this drive, the Titans have, for more time than Pittsburgh has the entire first half.
Wow.
8:35 on this drive, but now it's a 3rd and 7.
Watch right there. See the guy with his hand on the ground right there? That's Hayward. He's going against the backup Brewer. They got to give him help.
Tannehill from the pocket gets the first down at the 4-yard line. A gain of 11 to Ferkser.
Outstanding pass protection. Tannehill waits it out. But watch. See the double right there in the back could have helped. That's what they do. Give that inside a little cushion. And then Ferkser finds a little soft spot in the zone, Jim.
And the clock running at 1:30 to go.
See, this is where I'm always like, I'd have taken a timeout if I was Pittsburgh.
I thought there might be that.
But this is that record-setting team inside the 10, goal to go. It's hard to stop because he can hand this off and he can keep it himself.
Here's Tannehill looking up top, now looking for other options, and that pass sails wide of Julio Jones, who does not have a catch in this first half. Don't forget the Verizon halftime report will be coming up shortly. JB, Phil, Nate, Boomer, Coach Cowher, all the scores around the league. Detroit's beating up on Arizona late first half. Houston over Jacksonville. Dallas winning at the Giants. Jets on top of Miami with the Dolphins on that win streak. So all that coming up with highlights on the Verizon halftime report. Second and goal.
Flag of the play.
False start. Offense, number 62. 5-yard penalty, second down.
The previous pass play, Tony, went to Julio. He was never really close to being caught, but he hasn't caught a touchdown in over 400 days.
Well, look at this. Go ahead and play this. they're going to go cover zero. This is 2 plays ago. You just talked about the pass to Julio, Jim. They have to run cover zero. They need Julio to win on these routes, and that's huge having him back and down because teams down here, they can't stop the running back Antano from running. He's going to be one-on-one on a lot of these.
Here's the throw back to the 4, and Westbrook McKenna has it for a gain of 5. Got the penalty yardage back, and it's 3rd and goal, clock running.
Here comes that crazy record pace of 90% almost inside the goal to go. 1st and 10 touchdowns.
23 touchdowns in 26 go-to-go situations. That's crazy high.
And they're the only team who's better than them is themselves.
Can they do it one more time? They've got to pick up 4 yards to the goal line.
But they have a ton of options. I just told you. If they come after you, you don't. If not, you fake it, you move around, and then you just throw it to someone in the back of the end zone.
Tannehill, he has the time, and finally, they get to it back at the 15, and it's T.J. Watt and Craig Hayward.
What a superhuman effort by T.J. Watt. This was a hold and everything, a double team. You're going to see Watt on the other side come in right there. I mean, he was literally getting held, but Hayward pushed through the middle.
You know, Cam is having, you look at some of the stats from his position group, Cam Hayward is ranked in the top 2 in the league. That may be his best year in his 11th year.
It's crazy. He's dominating up there, and right there you saw that matchup was key to the game. He's going to continue to go against that side. You got to get that ball out faster. But that's where mistakes happen, right, though? When he gets in there, it's like probably better that he didn't let that ball go.
Timeout called by the Steelers. Again, the Verizon halftime report coming up shortly. JB and the crew getting all set to deliver the highlights, all the goods. Coming up from the studio in New York on the Verizon halftime report. Bullock comes back out for a field goal try. Good from 26 yards in the opening quarter. This is 32 out. Randy Bullock adds 3 more. Now 22 of 26 on the season. Here's the game snapshot presented by Progressive Insurance. 54-yard return in that opening quarter. Tannehill scoring from a yard out. Roethlisberger has been sacked just once in this game. He's had a lot of pressure on him. But that was a 19-play drive by the Titans that took 10-17. Longest by Tennessee, by this franchise, since 2003. Over 10 minutes long. They ran more plays on that drive than the Steelers have snapped it in the half. Crazy.
Wow.
We have 18 seconds to go.
I think the last touchdown Pittsburgh had was before Thanksgiving in the first half, Jim.
That's right. It's going to be, barring something here, it's going to be 4 consecutive games. And they're fortunate to be down only 10, really.
It's hard to go 20-some possessions. It's like 21 possessions now, 21 without scoring a touchdown in the first half. I mean, that's, how do they expect to, you know, like they're doing a great job of staying in the playoff hunt somehow, you know?
Or even staying in this game. They could be down a ton right now.
I give Coach Tomlin credit. He's one of the great coaches in the NFL, and how to keep us, you're terrible against the run, right? 30th. You can't score touchdowns. I mean, it's, how are you even in position this time of year?
Fire move. Dives down at the 35. Will they take a quick timeout? They do.
Yeah, really. Pittsburgh with an excellent job of holding them to 3 points on that drive, keeping them in it again. But I would have used a timeout earlier, you know, because then you'd have more time right here. I mean, you should have at least 30 seconds, if nothing else. Just because when the other team has all 3 of their timeouts, like Tennessee did, they're not in a race against the clock. So you're not like helping them with more plays or time. You're giving them no advantage by you using your time. You're just giving yourself an opportunity.
Everybody, well, 8 players drop back in coverage for Tennessee. Back to fire move, dives down. That didn't take much time.
Well, that's a big difference between 5 and 4 seconds here. If there's 5 seconds, you can do that again. If there's 4,
Pittsburgh, your third. It's a 30-second timeout.
I know that sounds silly, like it's big, but really with 5 seconds, you can go down, and throw it and kneel. There it is. They gave that back to him. And now you have the ability to do that one more time and get into a position to throw the Hail Mary. Because from right here, when it's cold out, you ain't getting that ball there.
There's Shane Bowen, defensive coordinator. His defense coming off that shutout last week against Jacksonville. The first home shutout registered in 20 years. Timeout called by Tennessee's defense.
Well, what's happened, you know, Vrabel and Bowen has built a very sneaky defense you don't want to play. And when I say that, I mean they can create turnovers. They have a lot of
stop the run.
They stop the run. They're second in the league stop, and they're very exotic with only rushing 4 guys. And they do simulated pressure. They're rushing a defensive back, but they still only rush 4 guys. But their coverages are really hard to decipher, and they play all of them. They just go right down the middle, cover 3, 4, 2, cover 1, and it's like you never know which one's coming, and they're hard to decipher. And then your team flies around and plays hard. Ooh.
Ben throws it sideline. Washington out with 1 second.
I always worry right there. That was an unbelievable play and throw.
Wow.
But with Washington, I was like, hurry up. You know, why are you taking your time? Well, they're going to try and kick this. They're
going to bring Boswell out. Boswell is going to try one from about 57 yards. He is 7 for 7 this year from 50 plus. It's actually 56 yards.
Is it downwind? Is Tracy down there?
Ooh. When he says, Tracy says not a lot of wind. 56 yards.
In this cold, Jim? No, you can't get it there, can you?
Yes, he can. Here's Boswell. The kick. It was short.
Barely. That's long in this cold. I've played a lot of golf, and I know that I just don't hit it very far when it's this temperature outside. 8, 6 degrees out.
That was 56-yard attempt. And again, the Steelers off to a slow start and no touchdown in the first half. Halftime is next after these first half highlights from Verizon and a word from your local station. Titans lead at 13-3 and will receive the second half kickoff. Now, over the last 4 games, Pittsburgh has been outscored 74-9. 3 field goals is all they've had first half of the last 4 games. Not a single touchdown. But the good news for Pittsburgh fans, it's the second half.
Now you should be amazing.
That's it. Now it starts going. Yeah. What do you think is going to happen again?
This one's tough because I really feel like Tennessee is a complete team. It's not a fake 9-4. Now, they don't have that like crazy star power, but they actually do. Their defensive line is unbelievable. They fly around on defense. They tackle well, and everyone talks about tackling, and that's always been an MO of Pittsburgh, and they're just, you know, through injury and just what's happened this year, their offense hasn't been very good. So you're putting a lot on the plate of this defense, and we keep talking about it. Pittsburgh's defense is still okay. It's not like they're like this bad defense. I still trust them. I just think that this Pittsburgh offense takes too long to get going, Jim. It's like they got to throw the ball in the intermediate part of the field, 15 yards downfield.
Same story every week, it seems. Let's go to Tracy.
Well, Jim, I spoke with Mike Tomlin, and he said the penalties are just killing them. It is affecting their run game, just 16 yards in that first half. And he said the kicking game as well, giving them too good field position. As for Mike Vrabel, he spent a lot of time in that first half talking to the offensive linemen. He said they need to find a way to protect Ryan Tannehill. Also, he needs to see touchdowns instead of field goals and no turnovers in the second half.
Well, here's the first snap, and it's a give to Foreman. He's got a lane. He's got 9 yards. And this running back by committee for the Titans, as you look at the first half stats, has 129 yards from scrimmage. The Tennessee running backs. Pittsburgh, with Najee Harris, 9 total yards out of the backfield. That's it. 12 first downs to 5 in that first half, and it truly could have been a lot more than just a 13-3 lead.
I think the Steelers D is doing well. I mean, they've held them down inside there, short fields. I mean, just, I'm impressed. I think the Steelers defense is going to be fine. Like every week they almost are. And this is what they got to do right here, though. They can't be giving up leads, Jim.
Foreman keeps getting the call on 3rd and 1, and he delivers every time. Nate Davis and Ben Jones with great blocks, and it picks up 12.
Yeah, and just, to me, that's the one area. They work so hard. They keep their team in the game. A lot of these, then all of a sudden, teams start to run the ball, and you see 95 gets moved down a little bit. Wormley, that's too far back. I mean, you're 5-7 yards behind line of scrimmage going sideways, just too soft. And you know, it's not just him. It's like everybody takes a play and does that.
From the 46. Two good runs this time. They held the one with Foreman. Talking to Mike Vrabel about Deontay Foreman. And he says, you know, sometimes it's one of those classic cases, just a change of scenery. It's a good thing. He was a Houston area kid, was Foreman. Went to the University of Texas where he started and got drafted by the Texans. Suffered a gruesome injury at the end of his rookie year, was showing tremendous promise. And now maybe just here in his 4th year, getting this opportunity, he's going to get back to where they thought he was going to be 3 years back.
Yeah, and he's doing a good job. And you know, you get opportunity in this league when someone gets hurt. Everyone has an opportunity. Now, no one's going to replace a Derrick Henry, right? No one can replace a Gary Bertier.
Watch out, gets it away, and what a defensive play as Edmonds is able to knock down Hilliard, who caught it for a loss of 5.
It's a screen pass, so they're going to let all the defensive linemen come flying in. And then you got to throw that. And the problem is, it took a long time to develop, and Steelers sniffed it out. That's why you play man-to-man sometimes, because that guy's guarding that running back. We're in zone, he turns and gets away. Now the screen works. So if you can play man against screens, you have a better chance to stop it.
6 out of 10 on 3rd down. Excellent percentage. We've got a stop and a timeout called by Pittsburgh. Steeler defensive timeout. On 3rd and 14, they have to burn one. They were not lined up properly.
Yeah, that's not what you're looking for.
By the way, I'm looking for this on New Year's Eve. Well, the good old Sun Bowl, the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl it is. Washington State and Miami. They come from opposite ends of the country. They meet in El Paso. That tradition continues for years and years. CBS and the great folks of El Paso will be teaming up again to bring that action to you on New Year's Eve day at noon Eastern.
That's a big one. I've been hearing about that all week from my friends. Should be fun.
It is always fun there. 3rd and 14. Handed off late. The draw. I don't see draws like he used to. That one goes out to the 49 with McNichols, and that will take the Titans offense to the sideline.
This is actually a great play call. Fitzpatrick sniffs it out. If he doesn't go and make that tackle, that would have gotten a 1st down. But that's the kind of thing you need guys to rally and tackle, and that's where I see Tennessee all year on the tape. They just don't miss many tackles. You know, every once in a blue moon it comes up in a game or something, but other teams it happens more often. That's why they're dangerous.
Here's Kern. 14th year, been a good one for a long time in this league. I remember Bill Belichick one time telling us that is the best punter in the NFL. That was their best player. Remember that? We're getting ready for a game. Here's McLeod, 13. He's telling us in a meeting.
He wasn't even joking.
He says, you know, we got to stop their best player. You know, their best player. We're trying to think of who is it. And he tells us
a punter.
Punter. Several years back.
Then you look at the stats, it was like, oh my gosh, this guy does put it outside the stadium and bring it back in. Tennessee 13-3. Merry Christmas.
Back at Heinz Field. Close to downtown here in Pittsburgh. When the Steelers score touchdown, you can hear the roar across the Allegheny River in downtown Pittsburgh, but no roars so far today. Just a field goal. That's it.
Set. Blue 20. Blue 20.
From the 23. Oh, look at this. Ben never, ever had a chance. Look at Bud Dupree. Show Pittsburgh fans what he used to bring here at Heinz Field. Spent 6 years with the Steelers, and that play is a loss of 9.
See 48, those eyes, he just breaks all this up and goes in and tries to grab everybody that's possibly standing there as we get a little no huddle coming at you here, Jim. This is when they start coming back though, right? Like, just get up and go, run some plays quickly at the line of scrimmage.
Might have a free play here, going deep ball. And it is picked off by Byard, but it will be coming back as presumably Tennessee was offside, no doubt.
Yeah, Jones gets
Offside.
too quick a start.
Defense, number 90. 5-yard penalty, second down.
But leave it to Byard to end up at least getting his hands on the ball, because he does that with great frequency. 5 interceptions on the season. Hey, Jones is blowing up the middle of that line a couple of times today.
Well, this is what I keep saying. These guys don't have to. They run these like simulated pressure, but there's only 4 guys rushing because they got Simmons, 98, who's having a great year. He's a presence in there. Autry has 6 sacks, 96. There's Jones, who's an undrafted free agent, and he's playing really high-level football. Landry's fantastic, and you just saw what Dupree just did. I'm like, wow.
Here's Dupree standing up. Try to get to, oh, Claypool took his eyes off of it. Not sure it would have gone for much, but this crowd gives him a little feedback. They're still irked about his first down signal at the end of the game in Minnesota last week that ate up time.
Yeah, we can get into that. Watch how many guys run at him here. See 98, Simmons is flying. This whole Titans defense runs to the ball, and that's why you're kind of opportunistic, right? You'll get turnovers, the ball gets out. You have more guys there. They rally tackle. They don't miss as many because of that. The effort, as you see defense coordinator Shane Bowen, it's outstanding. It leaps off the tape. Now tell me, what happened with Claypool last week?
Well, I'll get to that. 0-5 on 3rd down, and they get it to Harris. And he goes out of bounds at the 25. And that's 8-9 yards short of a first. You saw that Claypool celebration. He picked up a big 4th down.
Yes, he did.
That might have made the difference between getting one more snap at the end of the game.
It's a maturity thing, right? It's just like young players sometimes, and each guy's different. But it takes when you get a guy who has a ton of ability and talent, and he does. I think he has a chance to be truly special at the wide receiver position.
There's Rodgers coming up. Oh, he's hit right away. He had no room to catch that. That was Pierre who hit him. And there is no flag.
Wow, they timed up perfectly.
Is that perfectly or is that too soon?
It was perfectly too soon and perfect.
Okay. Titans with a win today, would move into the top spot for the AFC as far as the playoff standings. They win out, they're guaranteed. They control that destiny to be the top seed. By the way, on that punt return, I thought perhaps Pierre had gotten there before the ball did, but he absolutely did time it up perfectly. There is no halo anymore, and he was just a split second behind after Rodgers had made the catch. A clean play.
What does halo actually mean?
I got one over your head. You should see it all the time. It's a 4-yard pickup by Hilliard. This AFC playoff picture, it's wild. Remember, Tennessee beat Kansas City 27-3 earlier in the season. Chiefs haven't lost since that loss in Nashville. But because of that, with a win, would move to the top. New England having been defeated last night by an impressive Indianapolis team. And there's Pittsburgh at 6-6-1.
I can tell you, with the way they disguise coverages, Tennessee, on the road, you have a better chance, right? At home, that gets very difficult. And for a team like Kansas City,
look at Hilliard. Delivers a stiff arm on Fitzpatrick, who rides him down, but he's got another first down.
There's such an advantage because you have to remember, last year, as you see this gap scheme, outside run, and good job finishing. Really good tackle by Fitzpatrick coming in. His running backs are playing hard today, but
some stiff arm he delivered there.
These quarterbacks, though, Jim, Mahomes, Brady, Rodgers, like, if you have to go against these guys at their place, they're so hard to beat now. Last year, remember, there wasn't really fans in the stands. Very few, even in the playoff games. It's a huge difference this year if you have to go on the road.
Here's off the play action. Tannehill wanting to go deep, and he delivers a deep pass. And it is broken up. Going for Cody Hollister, but Edmonds was with him all the way. It's an excellent point, Tony, though. It's going to be a completely different atmosphere this year in the postseason.
Not taking away anything what Tampa did, they could have still easily won. It just would have been even tougher if they'd have had full stands as Tampa went on the road in the playoffs last year. I don't think anyone's doing that. Good job there by 16 to actually Cody Hollister to not let it get intercepted.
Just, again, brought up a practice squad upgrade 24 hours before the game. Second down and 10 to Rodgers. Oh, he's level. That's Edmonds.
Right there. That's the Steelers flying around
that
we've seen Tennessee do today. But that's what we're so used to seeing. The movement and the flying and saying, I got this gap. See, right there, shooting that gap, making him go inside. Next guy comes to fill it. I want to see that, don't you? Like, that's football when they're playing at their best.
That's back to the old Dick LeBeau days.
Yes.
You know, who was D coordinator for both of these franchises. Now living in Southern Ohio. Great Hall of Famer who we sent along best holiday wishes to. Everybody loves Dick around the league. Coach LeBeau, one of the greats.
And he used to roll this stuff. This guy goes down, he comes back. He stays over here, he comes down.
Here's a 3rd and 13. Watt coming after him, and he is sacked back at the 18. Tannehill, is he okay?
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
He's okay.
Loss of 10.
Well, you're trying to give him help. It's just a really poor job by the tight end, 86. He gets out of his stance late, Ferkser, and he actually hurts the tackle. Quessenberry right there because he pushes him almost wide to help him, and Tannehill's lucky not to get hit.
By the way, that goes as a sack number 17 of the season, and he's got the single season record for the Steelers. He was tied with James Harrison, and is chanting MVP for their man T.J. Watt as McLeod cuts back the other way, and able to get some extra yardage out of it. 17 sacks, though, does break out of the tie with James Harrison and give him the all-time Pittsburgh record, and he missed 2 games.
That's unbelievable, and the season's not over yet, and Watt, we see it all the time in the second half, game-changing type plays, giving his team a chance.
Santa and even the Grinch on hand to watch this one, as the Steelers now
Blue 20. Blue 20.
see if they can do something their second drive of the second half. Gonna put one up deep. Oh, and almost. Oh, it is a flag thrown on Buster's screen. They were trying to connect with Deontay Johnson, who made a play off the deflection.
I'm anxious to see what this call is because it might be on offense. Yeah.
Oh, it is going to be.
The only thing that looked when, you know, we're looking down the field when that ball's in the air, and it's like almost looked like the offensive player pushed
There
off.
are 2 fouls on the play, 1 by each team. Holding, offense number 51. Pass interference, number 38. Those fouls offset. First down.
Okay, so they didn't call OPI on Deontay Johnson. Here's the other penalty.
And that's Simmons, who you haven't heard a ton from today, but he's making that ball get out very quickly. He's kind of their Hayward, this Simmons. He's really developed.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Great player.
7.5 sacks on the season.
Number 98. I'm telling you, you're going to see some big moment from him as the season goes down, Jim. You know, the national fans, he'll do something in a playoff game or at the end of the season to make a big impact, and people will start to really understand how good he is.
Here's the handoff to Claypool. And he is chopped up by Hooker. JB and Phil, it's update time in New York.
Jim.
Right, playing themselves right out of the first pick of the draft.
It's always like, it's got to be the worst thing as a fan.
There is Harris for 2. It'll be 3rd and 1 coming up. And let's go down to Tracy.
Well, Jim, Julio Jones just returned from the IR last week because of that hamstring injury, and it seemed as though he tweaked it earlier in this game. He played throughout that first half, in and out. I saw him with a heating pad on it. He is now in the locker room. They have ruled him out with a hamstring injury.
Thanks, Trace. Here's 3rd and 1. Thrown for it. Getting it. Freiermuth able to just kind of ignore the Fulton force and contact. Actually, he was staggered a bit by it, held onto the football, and now they're quickly out here, the medical crew, to look after him.
You see him come across.
It's Fulton right there that hit him.
Oh,
staggered him.
Well, that's a cover 2. That was right after he took the first one by Fulton.
We're going to take a little break here in Pittsburgh. There was a penalty on the play. Personal foul penalty right here on Fulton, and adds 15 yards on the back of that play. And Freiermuth was taken immediately to the Pittsburgh locker room. Gentry has come in at tight end. Football down to the 34. That's their first third down conversion of the game. Here's Gentry, who just came in for Freiermuth. He runs over Hooker and lets everyone know that his presence is on the field as he goes for 18 yards impressively.
He does a great job pretending like he's blocking, and it's a screen pass. He lets Landry. The key to the play was going inside. You see the end and the physical punishing Gentry. Getting this place excited a little bit.
Haven't had much to get fired up about. As Harris avoids a tackle in the backfield, and he's down to the 10-yard line, and things have livened up here.
Well, you haven't done a whole lot when screen pass for 14 yards. And
it gets the
run
crowd
for
going.
8, gets everyone excited as if it was 2 30-yard plays back to back.
It's been that kind of a day.
It has. It's that time of the year too. Tough nose, and that's how you have to win sometimes if your team's not as good in certain areas, right?
Probably be a wild fourth quarter, like it was in Minnesota last week.
Might be 7 to 10 total points in it if you're lucky. I mean, this could get nuts.
2nd and 3, and Claypool almost made the one-handed grab, and it's going to be pass interference on Fulton, flagged for the 2nd time on this drive.
Yeah, and he was holding, but then he also grabbed the left. Claypool does a great job.
Interference. Defense, number 26. Ball's placed at the 1-yard line, automatic. First down.
So watch, he adjusts his body. Claypool tries to go inside, and right when he does that, so he kind of just throws him. That's close. I don't know.
Well, what it is in the end, ball at the 1.
I could go either way on that. I'm like, that is pass interference, yet he's kind of throwing Fulton as well. Big play here.
You got Harris, big back. You got Ben, who's thrown a touchdown in 27 consecutive games. And you've got a timeout called by Tennessee.
They had one guy short because no one was out there to double team the receiver.
Again, just a reminder that Week 15 has been elongated to the point where you'll have not only later action today, including we'll have Bengals Broncos for some of the nation, Falcons 49ers as well. Packers and Ravens are coming up on Fox, national doubleheader game tonight. Saints and Bucks. And then tomorrow, NFL Network, Raiders and Browns from Cleveland, Vikings and Bears, ABC, ESPN, Fox with a twin bill Tuesday night, rescheduled games, Washington and the Eagles and the Seahawks and the Rams all coming up. There'll be a stretch of 8 days worth of games in 10 days. 10 days, 8 games will have NFL action.
I bet you there's no quarterback sneak here. $10. No quarterback sneak.
Ain't making that bet. You got Najee Harris. Boy, he reached for it.
Ooh, that's
second
close.
time. And they say no. That was very close.
Okay, quarterback sneak possibility here. Let's see. I think he got in.
I think it's close.
I think he got in.
Well, it's in the wrong hand.
Oh,
that's
that's
good call.
so close.
So close. I don't think you want to challenge. You've already burned one timeout if you're Tomlin. Watch this reach here. That is, well, that one right there.
It looks like it's over, but it's straight down the line.
Maybe they go right back to him again.
Ben hasn't quarterback snuck all year. Does he do it here?
I still don't think so. Oh, yes, he does.
He could have walked in.
Is he in, though? Bigger question.
Oh, they're not giving it to him. I thought he was in easily.
So did I. You got Steelers are saying he's definitely in.
Look at the ball, and then you say, where's the ball?
Ben's not moving.
Touchdown. They're going to do it. Watch. They're going to say, third down.
Oh. Got to see this.
Oh, he was short.
Did he have the football out in time? Yeah, and I'm sure.
Just didn't put the ball over. So if his knee's down right there, he's short, and then he moves the ball up.
Still close. All right, third try.
He's like, just go line up over here. We're just doing it again, right?
Keeps it again. This time he's across. Touchdown Steelers. Ben's first rush touchdown in 3 years.
There's it right there. Got back in the game. All of a sudden, the terrible towels come out, and he does his Fred Flintstone a little bit, right? You got to get the car going before he goes forward, runs those feet a couple times, and then goes boom, and waited for the hole there. What a big-time drive right here if you're a Steeler fan. This keeps, honestly, this is your playoff hopes right here.
Extra point now to make it 3 from Boswell. And it is good. We've had 2 touchdowns in the game, Tony. Both of them have come from the quarterbacks from a yard out. 13-10 with 3 to go in the third in the Steel City. All right, everyone appropriately stirred after the Steelers drive it down the field. 63 yards in 8 plays. They had 5 first downs along the way. They had 5 first downs on the first 7 drives, so they finally got rekindled as Rodgers is flattened at the 26. Here's a look at next-gen stats, powered by AWS.
Let me read this perfectly to you. TJ Watt, 6 pressures on 18 pass rush, 33.3% pressure rate. Next-gen stats, what that tells you is that that's way more than anybody else would average in the league. Because think about Myles Garrett, there's 15% pressure rate. So if he keeps that up, he would more than double some of the other greats out there. Having a pretty good game, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He doesn't have any bad ones. There's a first down carry by Foreman. And he's got 7 or 8. While we were in break, Ben went down the tunnel right after scoring a touchdown, and he was just chilling on the steps heading to the locker room. Don't know what that's all about. Never seen that before all the years. But he's back out now. Just a solitary moment.
Well, I think 2 things. One, he's probably went in to take a little tinkle.
But I didn't see that. I saw him sitting on the steps.
Second part, probably had a moment with, his wallet. That's what I think happened.
There you go.
You never know.
There's Foreman getting near the first down. I'm going to say he's 3rd and short.
Well, here you go. 3rd and short. Step up, hand the ball off quickly to the right. If he doesn't snap it right away.
Foreman's been the go-to guy on these 3rd and 1s. They're 3 for 3.
Oh, wow. Do you want to run to that right side? There you go. Come on over here.
Moves McNabb over.
Get out there wide. I want to run it now to the left.
There's once again Foreman surveying the landscape and picking up 4 and the first down.
What a great job of motion. That's all Ryan Tannehill. I know everyone else blocked and everything, but Tannehill basically had the option to move the receiver to block the other side, and they're talking about a possible fumble recovery by Cameron Hayward.
He's not going to get him the football back.
I think they just gave him the ball.
The officials confer, and then they say, after all of that it was a fumble. Hayward was right. Let's see if the replay agrees with that.
Down.
He's down.
2, 3, 4, 5. Now come on back out here. This is one of those that they should take 1 second and be like, nope.
Well, things are getting quicker. I will say that. You're getting a chance.
I mean, he's so down. It's like, just tell everyone, make the call right now as a referee, because change of possession, there's no red flags. You're not challenging anything. They're doing it themselves. So just tell everyone. To me, that's already announced right now, right?
Well, the officials haven't announced it to everyone, but the Titans
After
offense.
review, the runner was down by contact. The line of game was met. It's first down, Tennessee.
There you go, Tony. You want quick jurisdiction? There you go.
I like that.
I do too.
That was pretty fast, actually. Didn't have to go over and look at the tablet and do the whole song and dance. They've done a good job.
First down at the 38.
This is the points, though, where that rush defense, okay? I know the pass defense, we know Watt can do all that, but teams have worn them down at different times, and then they can shorten the game. Can they stand up right now and stop them?
There's Mollett riding down with McNichols after 4. They've now reached, with that play right there, 200 total yards in the game. That's it. 138 for Pittsburgh, 200 for Tennessee with a minute to go in the third quarter. 119 of it on the ground. They run it the last 4 plays. Time for a bootleg and a throw. And it's out of reach for the pick attempt by Fitzpatrick.
This was because Wormley understood it was a bootleg. 95 comes up on him, and the ball had to be let go quickly. It's a good thing he did overshoot. What's Todd Downing drawn up? Because 3rd and 6. It's about to get loud. Your playoff season's getting close to being on the line. Pittsburgh's defense isn't not quite what it once was, and the run game maybe, but 90 Watt is still out there. Hayward, 97. What are we going to see? Can Tennessee stand up and take? I got no more things to talk about, Jim.
There's the pass, McMath. Was he down or not? Or did he ever hit the ground? If he didn't, they say he didn't, and it's a turnover, the ruling on the field. Joe Hayden comes away with it. McMath was going to be short of the first down. He got chopped.
I think it's a turnover, Jim. I don't think he's down. I think it's going the other way. Pittsburgh does stand up. He never touches the ground.
The ruling on the field is a catch, then a fumble by the receiver, recovered by the defense. First down, Pittsburgh.
That's going to be something that cannot be over. But just, it was pretty clear.
Doesn't matter if it's a fumble or an interception because he never hit the ground. It would only matter for the quarterback who would dislike the interception. But what a big-time play. The biggest thing is that you come flying in and you get him to go down, but his elbow is never down, right?
That left elbow was the only thing I was going to say.
That's the only thing I got to take a look at, too.
The left elbow ever down.
This is because...
Or forearm. It's not.
Nothing.
It's hand. McMath trying to make a play, the rookie from LSU.
And Brett Kiesel goes crazy.
Yeah, he's still coming to the games.
Yep, that's fun to see.
He used to be a game wrecker around here.
That's fantastic. And look at behind him. Wow. You got Franco Harris with him.
We just got Brett Kiesel to fall out of a chair at home. Titan turnover story.
There it is.
This is something we've been on. There are 2 losses since week 5. They gave it away 9 times.
Well,
twice so far in this game.
Was New England, right? 3 fumbles and an interception by Tannehill in that game.
Oh.
That's a good view, too. I don't know why they're still discussing this. I think they're trying to determine whether, here's the thing, statistically it's either a fumble or an interception, right?
I think they're going to look at the shin here.
To me, it's a fumble.
Did the
it's
shin,
so late, it's not
did
an
the right shin ever touch the ground? It's the only thing they can be reviewing. They're not going to hold this up for stats. Watch the right shin. Did that ever touch?
No, never touched. And by the way, when you have to look at it this many different times, it's whatever they're called. Look at the right knee right there. Ooh, the shin. Okay, go back on that. Ooh, we need that one.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Let's bring in Gene
I'm going to circle right there. Pause. Go back. He's down, Jim. You were right. Keep going forward.
Gene,
go forward,
Jim,
forward. Right there.
Right there.
You were right on it. Just talk to the right shin. I think you've got to get into clear and obvious now. The ruling on the field does mean something, and they obviously here don't think that clear and obvious was something for them to overturn, and that's why they've stayed with the call.
Okay. Thank you, Gene. Harris gets 2.
I did not. That was an incredible call by you there. Because you said, you're looking at that, and I'm like, what? It's not. We looked at it 10 times. But that right there, we're going right before.
I mean, that was close. There's no question. That shin was
after the fact. I would say he was down.
Yep.
The whole time it was no. But the call was that it's a turnover, so I could see staying with, proof on it. But now we got ourselves a game right here. Pittsburgh has a chance to take it.
2nd and 8. 2nd and 8. And a completion.
I I love 10 yards to 18-yard routes for this Pittsburgh team. No one stops them. They just don't do it enough.
That's James Washington with the catch and the first down, and the Steelers are driving as we head to the fourth, trying to take the lead for the first time today. It's a 13-10 game heading to the fourth. We begin the fourth. Tennessee has given now Pittsburgh 2 times a short field off fumbles. Roethlisberger in the third with a rush touchdown. And he is, Tony, on the season putting up some gaudy fourth quarter stats. He leads the league in passing yards and touchdown passes in the fourth as they've had these furious rally attempts.
Well, I think you're going to find that for them to get in the playoffs and do anything, Ben Roethlisberger is going to have to do these things in the fourth quarter more and even better, because it's that time of year, and that's not a good start, is it?
Trying to connect with Harris. And Roethlisberger in the fourth, and this team, and you can see through the first 3 quarters, they're losing the battle. In the fourth, making up a lot of ground. Some weeks it's enough, some it's not. They're just down 3 here as we come to this fourth quarter. Again, 6-6-1. Maybe 3-1 the rest of the way would be good enough. It'll be close, 9-7-1.
It's going to be real close. There's a couple games that'll be huge, right? Browns, Bengals toward the end there. You got there's 3 or 4 games. I think Pittsburgh has Baltimore one more time.
And they got Kansas City next week. Here's a 2nd and 10. They got Baltimore the last week of the regular season. There's Washington. He fumbled the football. He lost the football, making a move. And this time the Titans recover.
What is the penalty on? Because this is a game-changing, possibly a season-changing.
Might be roughing the passer.
I think it
Roughing
is.
the passer.
Wow.
Defense.
You ready for this?
Number 98.
Tennessee
15-yard penalty.
was the only team in the league coming into this week that had not been flagged one time this year for roughing the passer.
Oh my God! I don't think it was. He got pushed into. So it's the rule is watch 98 right there. He gets shoved. Simmons right at the end. Now you can't go low on the quarterback, but it's not a penalty. We should have Gene come in. You'll see before that though. I want to see.
Gene.
Let's go. Now watch, pause this right here. You're going to see right there, the other side, he gets pushed, I think.
What the officials have to determine on this, guys, is even though the blocking is a disengagement, you then have to make a judgment. Did the defensive player, under his own volition, force himself or lunge himself under his own effort without the block to create that hit? And in that case, I believe he did, and then lunged on his own volition into the knee area.
He did
That's
kind
why
of
they call
hopper.
roughing the passer.
Gene, what you saw is a little hop or a lunge at the end, and I think that's what the officials saw as Harris picks up 3 or 4. Thank you, Gene.
That's exactly right, Jim.
Well, going back, so pause this right here. You see 98? Right there. He's about to get pushed by 51. Now play this. Right there, he shoves him. And that little push. Now, was that enough? I don't know. So you could have had, but you can't hit him low. He should have tried to pull up a little bit. If he'd have tried to pull up, maybe he'd have got away with it. But that's the right call, I believe.
Here's the snap from the 10-yard line on a 2nd and 7. And a flag first and a pre-snap penalty on Pittsburgh.
Offense, number 18. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Deontay Johnson's been quiet for him. He has not caught a ball since the first quarter.
A lot of fantasy teams right now this time of year don't like that.
Oh, he's a fantasy beast, but more importantly, he's a touchdown maker too here in recent weeks, including 2 against Baltimore 2 weeks ago. Had 2 against the Titans in their matchup last year in Nashville. 2nd and 12. There's Washington. Pushed out back at the 10.
You talked earlier about the D-line and not having a penalty, right? Roughing.
Not a roughing call the whole year until that one.
I think a lot of that is coaching in a lot of ways. I really believe you can coach, like pass interference at the end, poise through the ball at the end, poise not to be silly and just make dumb decisions, you know, right at the moment of hitting a quarterback. I think this team is very disciplined. I think they win games a lot of time based on that.
I don't think there's any question. Here's the 3rd and 7. Pick up the first at the 3, but they're going to the end zone, and it's incomplete. Washington's been the target on this drive. And that one falls incomplete, and they'll have an attempt from short distance to tie the game with a field goal.
Now it's a double move, and he gives it perfect air on it. But Ben Roethlisberger, go ahead and play this and get ready to pause right now. He's going to have a guy come wide open, run him through. Ben, just wait a second, and you would have had a walk-in touchdown right there for your Deontay Johnson.
Here's Boswell now with the attempt from 28 yards. And good for the second time.
And that's where, when your offensive line gives you more time, you're more comfortable waiting for that second guy. And right now, you got yourselves a great game. 13-all, Jim.
Pittsburgh with 10 points in the last 4 minutes and 44 seconds to tie this game at 13 with 13:24 remaining. Here's the kick. Rodgers watches it bounce at the 1 through the back of the end zone. Touchback. Titans again with those 2 turnovers, both committed at this end of the field, giving Pittsburgh a short field.
There's the first one, and here is the second one.
Both led to field goals.
Both defenses doing their part, keeping these offenses, you know, from being able to completely control the game. I mean, Pittsburgh's been a lot tougher for them, but Tennessee's offense is a lot better this year, I think, than Pittsburgh's.
Number 1 seed in the balance for the Titans. As they give it to Hilliard. Look at him, wait for that to develop. Nice run for a pickup of 14. And we pick up the update with Jacob.
Tony and Tracy. What ex-polite.
How about that? Good job, Phil.
Good job, Phil. And centrifugal force.
Yeah.
That's impressive right there.
First down, Tannehill. Being chased by Bush, and the flag is out. By the way, Tua has done quite a remarkable job. Everybody was out to
offense. Number 64. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Draw some rapid conclusions about him. And meanwhile, under the radar, in some respects, Miami's peeled off a long win streak. They were down early in this game and now have fought back against the Jets to take the lead and try to extend that win streak and keep their hopes alive.
Yes. It's impressive what, I mean, they were done. If anyone's ever been done, I mean, what were they usually?
1-7.
1-7, no chance.
5 straight wins now, looking for a 6th. Here's a 1st and 20. Go with Hilliard. And he's got 5, and we got an update from Tracy.
Well, Jim, just an update on Steelers tight end Pat Freiermuth, who took that big hit to the head earlier. He's officially out with a concussion, his 2nd in the last month, Jim.
Sorry to hear that. Freiermuth is going to be here in Pittsburgh, one of the favorites for a long time. The rookie having a stellar season. But those 2 in a month.
The second one is a big one.
That is.
That's.
And, yeah.
And we're just going to see that's obviously up to the medical team that they have and the doctors.
2nd and 16. And a completion for 6 yards maybe to Swain. Give him 5. Edmonds brings him down right away. He got 3rd and 11. I mean, a Tennessee team with no Derrick Henry, no A.J. Brown, who they hope to have back soon, no Julio now after re-injuring that hamstring in the first half.
Who are you going to go to?
Team that's won 15 of its last 20 road games. Got a 3rd and 11. Got a completion. What an effort to pick up the first down. That is Chester Rogers.
I think you just found your guy. Rodgers inside is going to run up and find a little soft spot in that pocket from the slot position. Tannehill's eyes. He does a great job. That's a great shot for young quarterbacks. He knows where he's going, but he has to move the defense, the zone guys. So he turns his eyes and his head a little bit. Then the window opens up.
So they get out of a 1st and 20 and a 3rd and 11 and a new set of downs. Now they got Foreman on the field. He's got another good opening.
With that hair, sometimes you just, Henry just came back for a second. You know, he's kind of got that little bit. He just glanced for a second.
Yeah.
He's got a little size to him.
Can you imagine when this team does get him back, though?
Well, again, that's the thing. He's not, no matter who you are, he can't just come right back, right, Jim? And just like, oh, he's amazing. Maybe.
That's why,
but
by
you
the
got to
way,
slow him back in.
And if you got the bye, you got the 1 seed, you got an extra week for him.
Yes.
2nd and 5. Here he is. What a... maybe made the wrong decision there. He had a whole line of blockers off that left side. He cut back to the inside and got shut down after a couple. 3rd and 3 coming up.
Yeah, actually had a really good hold there and just didn't take it. Well, how many times are we going to say big moments? Feels like the Steelers D has risen up as this game has moved on. Early, Tennessee was able to overcome.
Well, you can say it one more time right here if you want.
I think they're going to come after him. And I think it's cover 0. They're not going to let the quarterback run the ball. He's going to have to throw this ball.
Ball tipped and intercepted. Picked up by Schobert. And Tannehill helps take him down at the 30-yard line. It was deflected by Taco Charlton, the former Cowboy. And a 24-yard return by Schobert.
And they drop T.J. Watt on this play, so they overload the left side. And you'll see, you got to get rid of it because it's a hot route, we call it, which means you're going to have a free defender hitting the quarterback. He throws it, the tip goes up, and Schobert turns this game into a possible, I don't know how this just happened, but Pittsburgh could take the lead.
Down 13 to 3.
13 to 3.
3 at halftime.
Wow.
And remember,
I did not think they were going to have enough offense, honestly. I thought that Tennessee would get another field goal or touchdown in the second half at some point, and there was just too much, but somehow Pittsburgh keeps doing it.
From the 31 of the Titans. Johnson's first catch since the first quarter. And they get him back in the game with a pickup of 7.
He needs to touch the ball. He's electric. He's looking at...
That's what that was all about right there.
It's just throw him the ball. It's like we're trying all these other things, like just turn, throw it, 7 yards. Here we go.
Hey, 54, hey, 41. No spacing. Set on.
Harris. Oh, what a play by that front line, including Naquan Jones. And you're right, Tony, for undrafted, this kid is something else.
Well, this is the problem with no huddle. So you see this, Ben is calling this play right now. He's just going to hand the ball off, but these guys look really soft. You see him blitz right there, Jim? That's because you practice that throughout the week. It's good coaching once again, and the players are smart. They get up there, pretend like, and then he starts coming. He called the play right into him.
It's 3rd and 5. Ben in trouble. Not going to get out of that grasp. Got 3 or 4 Titans around him, and they'll bring out Boswell now to try to take the lead. Danico Autry there with Landry.
Ben didn't need to move up. Watch this. Just stay right here, right there. Just stand there. But once he moves up, he actually created the pressure for himself. Now's the time he actually had a good pocket.
Boswell has connected on field goals of 36 and 28 yards. Look at this in the 4th quarter. I'm not going to say it. You can see it. It's impressive. It's 46 yards.
Oh, you would never call that unless you knew he was making it.
It's 29 straight in the 4th or in overtime. And the Steelers have the lead for the first time today.
They are good in the 4th quarter, Jim. They're doing it again somehow.
Well, the Steelers were getting slapped around in the first half. They were down 13-3, could have been even more. And now they've come back. Resilient bunch they are. Renegade is playing. And we have 7:20 to go with a 16-13 Steeler lead.
We were at a commercial break right there. This place was going crazy. And I tell you, I was telling our director showing me shots, I said, no one is better during the commercial break than you, because I got really excited. And here we go. He still kept it going for the game.
Mike Arnold can do that.
Yes, he can. He's the best.
Commercial and for real coverage. By the way, next week, what a doubleheader we have. The Bills and the Patriots. Bills are going to win today. And if they win next week, well, there's still 10 minutes to go in that game. But if they do, they'll be playing for first place against the Patriots. We're going to be in Kansas City for the day after Christmas. We'll have the Steelers and the Chiefs in the national window at 4:25, and it all starts at noon Eastern with the NFL today. Foreman gets the call at running back to start this series. The Titans have been blanked in the second half. Tannehill keeps it, swings out in front. And Tannehill with a nice drive starter, pickup of 11.
Good hit by Bush, come flying in, but they use this. I harped on it in the first half. They don't wear it out, so you don't defend it on every play, Tannehill's legs. But that's what makes him so tough in the red zone. When I was telling you, he adds an extra defender. He's always going to have yards when you have to have a play on first down, right? Because you're defending the field. Third down, now they're going to bring the extra guy down there and say you're not going to run on 3rd and 3 for it. A good play call, right timing.
From the 36, he lost the snap. Ball's on the ground. That says they have it.
Whose ball? Oh,
Pittsburgh got it. I thought Foreman had jumped in there in time, but not able to out-wrestle the bottom of that pile where you got Hayward and Watt. Foreman going back and making a second attempt at it.
He can try all he wants, but 90's coming out of there.
That's right. And the whistle was about 20 seconds ago.
Yeah, I mean, when you got brothers, I'm pretty sure he just did that every day of his life growing up. They're fighting over something, but what a big-time play that's going to kill. Just that snap right there. It's just you can't have these mistakes. Go get it. Oh, Ryan, go get it.
Well, Foreman, too. Foreman slipped as he was trying to make a dive for it.
Ryan sees him, and he's like, okay, get it. And at this point, now it's too late.
They have turned it over now 3 times on their last 10 snaps. For the game now, that's 4 giveaways.
And
4 giveaways.
He's got to be beside himself, because right now, you're almost like, if we just don't give them the ball, we're going to win. And they keep saying this each game. The ball is so important. The stats and the data behind it, it's just so overwhelming. And even without Derrick Henry, when they lose the turnover battle, they lose. When they win the turnover battle, they win. Regardless of anything else right now, that's the most important thing. The ball, the ball, the ball, and they're losing that today.
I mean, when you're down 4 in the turnover category for the day, it's a almost impossible task to win. But still, it's a 3-point game. Steelers take over again with a short field.
Blue 80! Listen!
We go Harris. Breaks out of a jam and picks up 6. And we pick up another update. JB in 5th. All those nice things you were saying about Tua.
Good. I was expecting, I was going to say, and all those people were saying.
I know.
That's just a tough one.
Changes so fast.
Can't be late on the sideline and throw a softball. It's got to get there quicker.
Under 6 to go. There's Harris. Nowhere to go. Give him a loss of 5.
That's just a terrible mistake by Harris. If you're going to lose yards, you go forward, like lose 1, right? You don't go backwards like a kickoff returner, just running all the way back, thinking he's going to go around and score somewhere.
That's 12 carries for 19 yards for Harris for the day.
I didn't love that play call, though, either. You know, we already know we don't have the best offensive line in the world. We have a lot of movement, just a slow developing counter.
Got a 3rd and 9.
Now this is where Ben's got to step up right here. Going forward here, Jim, it's like these are the plays that you're going to have a chance.
From the pocket now, rolling out. Johnson slipped on the cut. But that makes it a little easier, a little shorter. Still, it's going to be 48 yards approximately for Boswell. Again, Pittsburgh does not score a touchdown off a takeaway. They've been getting field goals off these takeaways, and now looking for another one to increase the lead to 6. It is 48 yards.
Is he good in the fourth quarter, Jim? Boswell?
I think I seem to recall a graphic.
It's putting the pressure on you right now.
There's Boswell from 48. Dead center.
Wow, that was pure.
30 consecutive in the fourth or in overtime. He's only missed, which is astonishing, 5 field goals in the last 3 seasons.
Yeah, and one of them was a 56-yarder today, dead on line in the middle in the cold. That was Boswell, wasn't it? With
Yep,
the
that was Boswell. Yep, 56 in the cold right before the half. That was looking automatic by his reaction. He knew it when it left the foot.
There's something about like a perfect strike, like in golf or in football, like, you know, when that kick and you're like, oh, it tails a foot, but it's got like max power on it. No one knows what I'm talking about out there, but it's beautiful.
I certainly don't, but it sounds like you maybe hit it flush every once in a while.
Absolutely.
Coming up, State Farm post-game show. JB, Phil, Nate Boomer, Coach Cower. Might even have some bonus coverage if this one ends early. Before all the other ones on this regional Sunday, all the scores and highlights, State Farm post-game show. Chester Rogers has had a good game today. That long punt return and the big third down catch. But he's not going to run this one out. For more on Boswell, we go to Tracy.
Well, Jim, I was talking to Chris Boswell pregame, and I was asking him, what is your target line? He's like, I don't have a target line. He said, just put the ball down and I'll kick it anywhere on this field. And he's showing that today.
I think that's right, probably. It's a great way of looking at it, too.
It is, unless, you know, you did that in golf. I don't have a target line. I'm like, well, you're hitting it out of bounds. You need to aim over here. And you're like, that's right. Some people don't need it, others do. But when you're that good, it makes sense, right? He doesn't have to think a whole lot. Point, aim, shoot. What a talent.
But down 6 with 4:29 to go. He still can drive down and win it with a touchdown and a PAT. As Foreman, look at Foreman chugging along to the 45, pick up a 20.
Wow. And there's that thing we talked about at the opening. 30th ranked rush defense is living up to the 30th ranked rush defense. But to be able to run the ball in this type of drive.
Here's Foreman again. Riding behind a blocker, riding behind Aaron Brewer. That 20-yard run on the previous play was the first play of 20 yards today for either side. From scrimmage, we had a 54-yard punt return, and before that 20-yard run, everything was less than that. How about that?
By the way, how about a hurry up and run the ball type of 2-minute situation?
That's what we're saying here. Foreman got another first down picked up at the 42.
And this is what I was worried about.
He's hurt.
Oh, yeah.
He's hurt.
Oh boy, this team. No one's been hurt. I mean, they've had so many injuries this year. It's just don't need another one. What comes? Ooh, it's going to get rolled up on right there. Oof.
He had that right foot taped, and that's the right foot that got rolled up on. That right foot was taped in the first quarter when he hobbled off the field and sat out for a couple of series.
Oh, man, look how violent that is. You know, Watt comes flying in. He's trying to punch the ball out, rolls up. It just, those live action shots right there are a really good way to see the speed and power of these guys.
You got all these injuries. You're playing in a cauldron called Heinz Field, and then you turn around and you have to play again on Thursday at home against San Francisco. With all these roster changes, 86 players coming in to this week. 86 players had suited up and played in a game this year for the Titans, which is the most in the league.
You have to give Vrabel and John Robinson credit, and they still have a chance at the #1 seed.
Big time. They're taping up that right foot for the second time in this game for Deontay Foreman, while we have another Steeler home game coming down to the wire. We documented that in the first half. The last 4 have been nail biters. Got another one here. 1st and 10 for the Titans.
mean, you can't let a team just run down the field with 4.5 minutes to go, right? Score the game-winning touchdown. I mean, that's the epitome of, like, not the Steelers.
Which, again, it's been just dreadful what they've done against the run. Especially the last 5 weeks, they've been last in the league. That was McNichols picking up 4. They give it to him again on the toss, and that one is well defended. Mollett was there. Let's go back. We got another big update coming up. Phil has this. Thank you, Phil.
Well, like we said, Tua, no one questions any throw he makes.
That's an impressive way to come back, though.
We're going to question this next play.
Yeah, 3rd and 6, because I got to tell you, from here with 2.5 to go, if you don't pick up anything, you're asking Bullock to come out and try one from 56 yards. Well, no, you wouldn't do that.
Nah, you
wouldn't do that. Not at this point, even though you've got timeouts, you wouldn't do that.
With 3:35 to go, you might, honestly.
Yeah, that 1 minute.
But not anymore.
Not now.
Someone had to come out there, Highsmith.
So it's 4-down territory is what we're saying.
Yes, and that's what you tell your quarterback and your offense coordinator. And Downing says, okay, if I got 2 plays, hey, here's our play. We're going to try and get set up and snap something. If they pressure, you throw this quick one over here. If they don't, take your time. But get to the right play.
3rd and 6. Crowd stirred to a frenzy. Pass caught, a yard short. That Schobert able to knock him back. That was Hilliard with the catch. And it'll be 4th and 1.
I would not rush this. You have plenty of time. Take it down to 2 minutes and get to the right play.
They're going to go ahead.
Try and draw them off sides right here, Jim. Don't actually call a play.
Got a timeout, Pittsburgh. Got a timeout, Pittsburgh, with 2:10 to go.
Really well done, because this was a perfect time to try and get them off sides, but never call a play. So you know how you don't jump off sides as an offense? When you go in and say, no play. There isn't a play. I'm going to try and get them. Line up and double right.
Again, the State Farm postgame show right behind us with Phil. You've just heard from him. JB directing, Nate Boomer, coach. All coming up in the State Farm postgame show. I'll say one little nuance here. All day long, they've had 3rd and 1s, and every time Deontay Foreman was able to pick it up. He's just gone out with injury. You got 4th and 1 this time.
Ooh, who's the running back?
It is Foreman.
Foreman is back, and the crowd just saw what you said.
Yeah, and they reacted.
They reacted at that exact moment, and wow. Coming back in on a huge play, which is exactly, I mean, that's a huge difference.
I wouldn't have guessed 3 plays ago that he'd be back.
Yeah, and you know, like, having someone else in there, McNichols, he's small. You know, so that's not a forte. You need the guy who's actually has a chance. But watch out.
Got a full yard to gain.
They got a kill up, so that means go ahead. Same motion, snap it and hand it off right here.
Here's Foreman. Fighting. Oh, this is going to be close. What an effort.
Nobody else at the backup running backs here gets that.
No, absolutely no one but Foreman.
Did he get it, though?
I think the spot is right on it. Right on it. Let's see. Foreman says he's got it. See him on the far side. This is an incredible effort. They've got him right around in here. And he's not down. So right there, just inside the 32. That last push.
Oh, man, what effort.
Yeah, you're so right, Tony. I don't think nothing against McNichols or Hilliard.
Just size matters sometimes, right? But that's why you have like situational backs. You have your short yardage back, you have your 3rd down back, because those little things that some guys are better at than others. Uh-oh, this is looking closer than we thought.
A lot of slack still in that chain. 1st down.
Wow.
1st down. 1st down, Tennessee.
If Tennessee wins this game, you could make an argument. Foreman's extra effort,
no question,
all he worked out in the offseason, all those times squatting or something, could have made the difference. Wow.
2-minute warning. Deontay Foreman went over 100 yards earlier on this drive, and he just picked up the biggest 4th down of his career. 1st down, 2 minutes to go. Tannehill fires it, caught for a gain of about 8.
Well, if you're going to make
Westbrook-Akina with the catch.
Yeah, that was big time. If you're going to actually make Patrick Mahomes, you know, possibly who else knows, right? But if you want people to come to Nashville and go through you, this is your drive right here, Jim.
Here's Tannehill. They almost got him for a sack, and he's able to race ahead and pick up the 1st down. Scrambles for 4. Got away from Loudermilk.
They control their destiny, and it's a good job not pulling that trigger. That would have probably been intercepted. Tannehill with a good decision, and here we go.
Here we go, Tony. 1:15 and running. It's Foreman again. Foreman busts through a tackle and takes it to the 16. Tennessee with 2 timeouts, Pittsburgh with 1.
I mean, the gutsy play call to run it, and T.J. Watt made an incredible play to try and slow down Foreman, but he hurt himself. Ooh.
Injury timeout by rule under 2 minutes.
Holding his lower rib cage. Yeah, he's going to have to come out. Well, that's going to be a big absence here with a game on a line with a minute to go.
So it's
he got landed on right there by Nate Davis, and that Pittsburgh timeout. They had to take a timeout. That's their last.
He's exposed there, right? You're stretched out.
Oh, that's it.
Ribs are exposed. I've had a few rib injuries over my time.
I remember.
One was yesterday, just having to talk to Jim Rickoff, our producer, who's done a wonderful job today. Jim, good job.
Tuska comes in for Watt. 2nd and 6 with 59 seconds. Low snap. Tannehill lost the football. And it's recovered. We got flags everywhere.
Well, I think this is a fumble, and he got held. So all of a sudden, Watt goes out, and I thought he was still in because it looked like him over there.
Tuska.
But it was Tuska who actually strips the ball and makes it fumble and almost won the game right there with the Steelers.
Holding. Offense. Number 72.
By the way,
10-yard penalty.
Watt has come back in. So
this is huge because he's really hurting. You know that, right? Like he couldn't have done something to mask the pain.
There's all of the hands to the face and everything. They called it holding, and it's recovered by the Titans, but they're backed up. It'll be 2nd, and they're going to be back at the 24-yard line.
Look at that face. That's a football player right there. Your season's on the line. You got 53 seconds. You're not going to speculate. I mean, you could have broken ribs, which is like things that happen out here a lot more. And you got to go ahead and play football with them.
They just moved it back another 2 yards, Tony, to the 26. And now they move it again. So back and forth they go. Titans in the end. Oh, they're going to move it for a 3rd time. It's gone from the 24 to the 26, back to the 24. If they decline the penalty, I guess it would be 3rd and 14. You
can tell how important this sequence is right here to a lot of.
It's brought back to the spot of the fumble. The ball will be placed at the 24-yard line. It is 3rd down.
So they.
Interesting.
Yep, decline the penalty, and the football is placed. That's a very good catch by this crew.
Yes.
So it's placed back at the point of the fumble, which is the 24. You got 3rd and 14.
It's almost like he's psyching himself up for one play. T.J. Watt on the top of your screen.
Seal the pocket and throw. Caught. Now you're going to have another 4th down play. That's Rodgers with a diving grab, and the clock continues to run.
Very smart, though, not trying to get it all back on one play. A lot of guys try and get 2 cracks at it, and it's like the percentage is so low. But now you give yourself a real manageable situation.
Picked up about 9 or 10. Now we'll give him 8 officially. It'll be 4th and 6 as the Titans call the timeout. They adjust the clock to 46 seconds. Jim Nance, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson. I'd like to welcome some of you just now joining us, that Houston audience. Texans victorious today down in Jacksonville. Another 4th quarter and 2nd half comeback by Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers. They were down 10 at halftime. They've outscored the Titans 16-0 in the 2nd half. The Titans with a win would assume the #1 spot in the AFC seedings with a win. And of course the Steelers, as they have all season long, they're just fighting for every inch for their playoff lives. Here we go, 4th and 6.
He's going to have to hang on to the ball for a second and try and find someone over the middle.
Here comes the rush. Here's the throw. Oh, what a tackle by Joe Hayden. Joe Hayden, look at the far sideline. They gave him great forward progress.
They always have to do that if it's close to keep going, but now they got to stop it. They're going to go ahead and blow the whistle upstairs. They're not going to let him snap this.
We're inside of 2 minutes. It comes from up top. Inside 2 minutes. That's how Hayden made some kind of stick.
This spot, though, that quick spot is huge when it comes to reversing it or not, Jim, because they're going to go back and find exactly where this is. We got Gene's territory. That's short, Jim. The Steelers are going to win this game.
It's got a half yard.
Their playoff lives on the line, and what a tackle.
Gene, you see anything differently there?
No, I don't. Just a great play by Joe Hayden meeting him, and also the ability to stop the receiver from reaching with the football. In that tackle, he squeezes the ball against the receiver's belly. I think they'll look at this. Well, that's almost an index card play there, guys. That's really close.
Gene, is that a first down right there?
I would have to get out the index card, I think, Jim. We're going to have to take a look.
Oh, they're saying the first signal was it's not close enough. The Titans can't believe it. Mike Vrabel's saying, go look at that.
Oh, my goodness. That means it's for sure over. You're not going to be able to go further than that. The Steelers, here's the definitive. It's short anyway, I believe.
I think it was a generous spot. That's the point.
It's only
a generous spot. I don't understand, though, how, and Gene, let me bring you in. They had the sticks about, I don't know, I know you could inch it a little closer to the football. It seemed to be more than a kind of a foot away. And that looked, as you said, you of index card fame, I mean, that looked like that's something that could have been even reviewed a little bit closer.
What part of the stick, Gene?
I think it's a great point, too, though. It's right at the post. If the nose of the football touches the beginning of the post, it's a first down. I also agree with you guys, though. That's a play where you almost take your time and maybe look at the ball and where it was spotted, and now kind of have your own expedited review there and place the football where you believe that play ended and then measure.
Okay, we got to see here where, again, I want to talk about when they looked at it with the sticks. I still don't believe that he got anywhere on the other side of the 10-yard line. But the point here, Gene, again, is when they had the sticks out. Again, they're.
Now, why isn't that closer to the ball?
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, like
why isn't that closer to the football?
Two things. Look, when you look up at the top of the screen and see that first down stripe that they lay on the ground, that stripe looks to be at the 9.5. I don't think the football makes it past the 10-yard line
either,
as far as the original spot. So I think when they now will review this because of the magnitude, they will go back now and get a firm spot as to where this play ended. And then we will know if they come out to remeasure, but I don't believe he makes the 10-yard line.
Let me ask you this. If they would have said with the chain gang, and they would have said
After
it was...
review, the receiver was not able to get to the line to gain. Short of the line to gain. It is first down, Pittsburgh.
If their initial look, Gene, with the chains, and they had said it was a first down, they could have still gone back and altered the placement of that football and come back and measure it again, correct?
Correct, most definitely, Jim, yes.
I mean, Tannehill is in disbelief. He's down on the ground. Witherspoon's in there trying to render a judgment. The game's
Hayden,
over.
How many plays today, Hayden?
I mean, he's been out for a month because of a foot sprain, and that was a gigantic play. He had the other, of course, diving interception. So Kansas City is going to take over the top spot in the AFC playoff seedings. And Mike Tomlin and the Steelers have found a way to do it again. Awakened in the second half. Down 10 at the intermission.
Are you saying this is the Pittsburgh awakening? Last year, remember, they were 11-0 and went the other way going into the playoffs. What happens if all of a sudden they start to catch a little steam, maybe get someone healthy or two back? I don't know.
Wow. 7-6-1 now. Pittsburgh off the victory. Tennessee falls back down to 9-5, and the Chiefs, their last loss was to Tennessee a couple of months ago. They, in fact, thoroughly beaten in Nashville, 27-3. They haven't lost since. People were saying, boy, what's wrong with the Chiefs? Steve Spagnuolo's defense, talk about coming to life. And everything else about them, Andy Reid, and there they are, and when it's all washed out through 15 weeks.
Probably the #1 right there. And you know why? It's really hard to sustain success, as we all know. To be in the championship game 3 years in a row in the AFC, Super Bowls twice. At the end of the day, for them to get back here, wow.
Coming up next, State Farm postgame show for Tony, Tracy, and Gene. Jim Nance saying so long from Pittsburgh. We'll send you back to James Brown in New York right after this.